What a wild week it's been for the Dallas Cowboys. From Trayvon Diggs getting benched, to Dak Prescott delivering a masterclass, to fresh talent like Jaden Blue stepping in, there's no shortage of headlines in Cowboys Nation right now. Let's dive straight into it. First up, the situation with Trayvon Diggs. Offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer addressed why Diggs didn't start against the Green Bay Packers. His words? He's been banged up a little bit. I've been a little tough on Trayvon. That statement says it all. This wasn't just about injuries, this was discipline. A message was being sent. And honestly, that's the kind of accountability the Cowboys need if they're going to tighten up and play consistent, mistake-free football. Now, to Diggs' credit, he bounced back on the field. Outside of a couple of glaring errors, he showed flashes of the shutdown corner he can be. But those big lapses? That's the issue. The Cowboys can't afford them, not if they want to stay in the hunt. This situation with Trayvon Diggs goes deeper than just a benching. Brian Schottenheimer made it clear, this wasn't about piling on one player. Diggs is a major piece of this defense, but he's also being held accountable. Schottenheimer praised him publicly, but behind those words was a message: if you're not giving full effort, if you're not playing with physicality, you're going to be challenged. And honestly, that's the kind of culture shift the Cowboys have needed for years. For too long, the standard hasn't been high enough. Now, we're seeing a coaching staff willing to discipline one of their top-paid players to send a message to the entire locker room: nobody is above accountability. The question, though, is about fit. Is Trayvon Diggs the tone-setter this defense needs? He's got the talent, no doubt. But effort, toughness, and leadership matter just as much. When you see moments on the field where he shies away from contact or lacks urgency, it raises real concerns. Cowboys fans want players who fight for every inch, not just cover highlights. This isn't about hating on Diggs. It's about demanding more from a player who should be one of the leaders of this team. The Cowboys are building a culture based on grit, discipline, and relentless effort. If Diggs can match his talent with that mindset, he can be part of something special. If not, then tough questions about his role in Dallas will only get louder. The Cowboys made a bold statement by benching Trayvon Diggs. No matter how talented he is, the lack of physicality and willingness to tackle has been impossible to ignore. Diggs has incredible coverage skills, but in football, talent without effort doesn't cut it. This team needs players who will fight, hit, and sacrifice for every yard, not just rely on highlight reel interceptions. That's why the move to bench Diggs was so important. It told the entire roster, if you're not committed to playing tough, disciplined football, you won't be out there. Period. And honestly, that's a refreshing change. For years, the Cowboys let stars get away with lapses. Not anymore. Now, to be fair, Diggs still brings more to the field than some of the other corners on the depth chart, and when locked in, he can absolutely elevate the defense. But accountability has to come first. The Cowboys are clearly building a culture where effort and toughness are valued just as much as raw skill. And it's not just Diggs. Brian Schottenheimer also spoke about wide receiver Jaden Blue, who's been working his way back. According to him, Blue is very close to being active on game day after stacking strong practices. That's another piece of good news for a team that's been hungry for fresh contributions on offense. Help may finally be on the way for the Cowboys' offense, and it starts with rookie Jaden Blue. Miles Sanders has been serviceable, but when you watch him run, you can't help but feel like there's more left on the field. Blue has the explosiveness to turn solid gains into game-changing plays, and with Sanders now dealing with a nagging injury, this could be the perfect window for the rookie to step in and prove himself. And it's not just Blue. The Cowboys are starting to open practice windows for several players returning from injury, which could reshape this roster in the coming weeks. On defense, reinforcements like Savone Revel, Josh Butler, and Kalen Carson could give much-needed depth to the secondary, while linebacker DeMarvion Overshown continues working his way back. Overshown's energy and physicality could be exactly what this linebacker group has been missing. There's also excitement on offense with the looming return of Phil Mafah, the bruising rookie back who runs with that Javonte Williams-style power. Add in defensive end Peyton Turner, and suddenly Dallas has real options to inject fresh energy into both sides of the ball. The truth is, this defense hasn't fully woken up yet. The scheme is showing flashes of life, but the personnel hasn't been at full strength. Getting these players back, especially Overshown in the linebacker room, could be the key to unlocking a defense that's still searching for its true identity. The Cowboys are finally starting to get bodies back, and every addition matters. Jonathan Mingo brings another big target for Dak Prescott, while Peyton Turner adds depth as a long, physical pass rusher. Realistically, not everyone will step in and dominate right away, but even one or two of these players making an impact could be the difference between a defense that bends and one that breaks. And here's the reality, this defense doesn't need to be elite. With the way the offense is humming, they just need to be good enough. A few more stops on third down. A couple of extra possessions stolen back. If the defense can simply hold opponents in the low to mid-20s, this team has the firepower to win. Because right now, the Cowboys' offense is on fire. Brian Schottenheimer has this unit running like a machine. Dallas is averaging over 404 yards per game, the highest mark in the NFL, even ahead of the undefeated Buffalo Bills. Dak Prescott leads the league in passing yards per game. The rushing attack is posting a strong 123 yards per contest, hovering around top 10 in the league, and overall this team sits top 5 in scoring. That's balance. That's dominance. This isn't just a good offense, this is championship-caliber production. And if the defense can rise to even an average level of consistency, the Cowboys are going to be in every single game they play. What Brian Schottenheimer pulled off against Green Bay cannot be overlooked. Early on, he kept things calm, easing the team into the moment instead of forcing risky plays in the heat of Sunday Night Football. Once the nerves settled, he unleashed a masterclass in play calling, mixing in the run game, using play action, designing screens, and keeping the defense guessing every single drive. If there's one critique, it's this: in overtime, Dallas probably should have run the ball a couple more times near the goal line. The offensive line was moving bodies, and the ground game was working. Still, the overall performance was a statement. Schottenheimer promised in the offseason to build a balanced, unpredictable offense, and now we're seeing it play out in real time. But let's talk about Dak Prescott. He is on a heater unlike anything we've seen in years. Against the Packers, he delivered one of the finest games of his career, completing 29 of 35 passes for 294 yards and 3 touchdowns against zone coverage. He posted his fourth-best expected points added and second-highest win probability added, 122.8%, in any game he's ever played. Dak isn't just playing good football, he's playing MVP-level football. And here's the crazy part. He's doing it on a team that doesn't even have a winning record right now. That tells you just how valuable he's been. Week after week, Prescott has been locked in, laser sharp, and absolutely carrying this offense. As long as Dak Prescott keeps playing like this, the Cowboys will have a chance in every single game they step into. Period. The truth is simple: as long as Dak Prescott keeps playing at this MVP level, the Cowboys will always have a chance. He's making throws that silence every hater, standing tall under pressure, keeping his eyes downfield, and delivering absolute dimes even with defenders breathing down his neck. Micah Parsons brought the heat, but Dak didn't flinch. He launched one deep ball that turned into a highlight reel moment, the kind of play that makes you jump out of your seat and throw up the L for a legendary connection. And credit to the offensive line. Even with key absences, those guys stepped up and battled. Parsons had his moments, but the line held their ground and won crucial reps when it mattered most. That's the kind of toughness Dallas needs to compete with the best. On the defensive side, there are still issues. Trayvon Diggs got benched, and while he'll likely be back in the lineup, that move sent a message. This defense isn't living up to expectations, but the reasons go deeper than most people think. We'll break that down soon. For now, the headline is clear: Dak Prescott is on fire, the offense is finding its rhythm, and the Cowboys are fighting every single week. With number 4 playing like this, Dallas is never out of a game.